This is how I lost $1,449 today. Day trading ES on April 27th, 2026. Coming into the day, we can see the price action is continuing to grind upward, with ES being a little bit more choppy than NQ. NQ's breaking away a little bit, but nonetheless, both indexes have all-time highs put in the overnight session before market open today. So this is all-time high price action. What we have is both indexes bullish on the hourly and 4-hour. We have our hourly liquidity levels marked right here. Our draws on liquidity, prominent levels, session lows. On ES, we have London low, Asia low. We have Asia high and London high on ES. In Q, we have the same. We have Asia high with another hourly high right with it, London high, and then London low, Asia low. And then after London low, Asia low, our downside draws are kind of limited. Not to say that we very well couldn't go down and take out Asia session low and kickstart a trend downward, or even take out Asia session low and continue upward, but this is just a observation. Coming down to the 15-minute, as we look at price and what it's doing, let's get our 9:30 candle or 9:45 candle. So what we have right at market open is a situation where ES comes up, puts in this is London high 7198.5. This high right here is 7198.5, puts in equal highs with London session before the macro. So because of this, I was intrigued with these equal highs. But at the same time, we have NQ coming down towards Asia session low. Now, what I would have liked to see to be able to target London session highs, we already have SMT where yes, NQ is below London session, yes is above London session. So that was good enough for me. So if this was able to play out a little bit and give me a 5-minute retrace to target London session highs, I would have been able to do that because we have a higher time frame session SMT. This is what I'd like to see in one of my, high grade trade setups. I'd like to see this. This is a good setup for me. A London session, or not necessarily London session, but a session SMT. Obvious draws and liquidity, which set these equal highs. That's really what I'd like to see. Coming down to the 5-minute, we'll see what price is. We can see what price is doing. What we have is this is our 950 candle. Where's our 950 candle? This is our 950 candle on ES. Now, once we put in equal highs with ES, I'd like to see how price is retracing here because we have equal 5-minute lows here. I really liked to see price take out these equal 5-minute lows because these eliminate our potential draws before the macro. So I like this manipulation that's being done here, even with London session low. We make this retrace, manipulate these 5-minute lows, this London session low, fake out buyers to the shorts, or fake out short side buyers, and then what we have is a session SMT from this low up to this low on ES, in Q, from this low down to this low. So we have a session SMT. We have a 5-minute break of structure to the upside. Now, what I didn't like was ES did not break structure to the downside. NQ did, which is okay. It's not necessarily the worst case. But what we also had was ES inversing this 5-minute gap. Now, we did not break structure to the downside on the 5-minute, as I said. We did it inverse this gap. I told myself if with this sweep and this manipulation, these 5-minute lows and this London session low, paired with the fact that we have this high time frame SMT, if we get a strong reaction out of this, I'm willing to entertain longs here depending on the strength of what the 1 minute's hitting on. So let me come back over here. You can see as soon as we make the sweep on, it also helps if I'm on the right 1 minute chart. Okay. We can see that as soon as we make this 1 minute sweep, we break 1 minute structure to not 1 minute sweep, but the sweep on the 5 minute of these London lows, we break 1 minute structure to the upside. Now I was debating entering on this 1 minute break of structure with how strong this candle was and with how much I like these targets. And if I would have entered in here, this actually would have been a winning trade for me. But that's just how it goes. After this, I would have liked, I was very well okay. If I did not enter here, I was okay with ES going and taking out London session high without me. But because I'm not going to enter in a trade, up here, because then where do I set my stop? Below this gap. I just don't like that risk reward. So once we made a push up, got relative equal highs with these hourly equal highs with London session, and then made a retrace into a 1 minute confluence. Once you made this one retrace into this 1 minute confluence, I entered in light size here, risking below this 1 minute fair value gap here, which is a little bit below equilibrium, which is also in line with the top of this 5 minute gap that was inversed here, the top of this 5 minute candle. So we've got a couple things aligning here. Not the best stop. I wish that there was some price or some lows for me to be able to move stops up, because this is kind of a tough spot to put a stop. Like where would you put a stop within here? I would have liked to see a retrace and have a low put in to potentially re-enter, and then have a more distinct stop level. But as you can see, I'll get rid of this 50% retracement now because we know where it's at. But once we get this retrace into here, once we get this strong reaction out again, and I keep entering a little bit more size all throughout this trade here, which is something that's not necessarily a great habit. Especially this entry up here. This entry up here was super close to take profit. It's just a bad risk to reward up here. I really need to just enter it. When I enter in a trade, I just need to enter it and enter it. And then if I'm going to enter with more size, wait for a proper retrace and then a break of 1 minute structure to the upside to be able to move stops. I need to be able to only enter more size into a trade if I can move my stop. And all throughout here, I never necessarily got the opportunity to move my stop. You can see that we're flirting here. We're flirting here into this 50% retracement. So if we are going to go higher and take out these draws on liquidity, what this is going to look like, we're going to go up, put in these equal highs, go down, fake out bulls, get bears in. We're going to sweep this, make a push up to kickstart our move long, make a retrace to fake out buyers and sellers again, and then continue the trend and have this thing explode to the upside. So the more that this is able to charge up a little bit, if you will, and make this retrace and have price consolidate for a bit, in my opinion, that gives it more opportunity to burst and take out more targets, just based on what I've seen. So I was very well prepared and open to the idea that on this retrace, if we're going to make it, that I would have got stopped. I could have gotten stopped out and this still be a winning trade. And that is exactly what happened. I just thought with how close these 1 minute highs are stacked here with these equal session highs, I did not think that price would come as deep as it did, but that's just on me. I was not as patient as I should have been. A little bit of FOMO on this trade. It's still a good trade. I would take it again, but just potentially entered in it a little bit too early. anyways, we make this retrace. Let me delete this 1 minute gap because that just shows my entry, my explanation for entry. Make this retrace. Right now we're hovering right at equilibrium. So once we fill this gap completely, we didn't necessarily break above it, but we filled it completely. I entered in a little bit more size. And then what ended up happening, I really would have, for me, this really needed to go once this gap got filled completely. Now, did it break above it? No. So it's equal closer with the highs and the gap. So a little bit up to discretion there. I really would have liked to see a clean break above it. But after this low was put in here, right at equilibrium, within this 5 minute inverse gap, within just a good within this 1 minute gap here, this is a good retracing spot. Really wanted to see price pop out of this. And after I saw the reaction of this 1 minute candle, I thought this thing was just going to nuke up, but ended up peaking above this fair value gap again. And then what I did was I ultimately ended up getting stopped out on the sweep of this low level here. Got stopped out a little lower than I would have liked, but then essentially right after that, price stayed around this level, and then in what is essentially 30 seconds. I know it's 2 1 minute candles, but at the end of this candle, price snapped up and then snapped up again to take out the draw on liquidity, which is super unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's right on the direction on this one. Just got stopped out. Price just wanted to retrace all the way down to this last 1 minute fair value gap before going and taking out our draws for the day. Unfortunate, it is what it is. If I would have entered in here, would have been in this trade on this 1 minute breaking structure, would have been in it and would have been a winning trade. But I'm not going to sit here and talk about it in hindsight. 5 minute order flow was still bullish, or not bullish, but bearish at the time. But price instantly snapped and took out take profit, and then retraced and chopped and did whatever it wanted to do before going higher. But super unfortunate. I did size up on this one. I really liked the opportunity that there was. Downside draws were limited with equal highs, with session highs. We had this high, all these 5 minute highs with our higher of day trend. I'm trading with the trend this time. Last trade I did not. Hourly's bullish, 4 hours bullish. It is just unfortunate. I just got stopped out on what was ultimately a 5 minute retrace before price made the snap up to take profit. But I'm finishing out this week, moving forward. I'm being more patient. I'm being more selective on my trades. I'm going to be more selective. I was up in a good amount of profit. I've given it back. A little bit of it might be euphoric. I think it is. I would like to be able to size up as I make more profits, but I am realizing that I am A, overtrading, I'm B, not downsizing when I'm taking consecutive losses in a row. I do not need to continue to size up when I'm in a drawdown. That's something I'm going to keep in my mind moving forward. Going to get better. I'm gonna overcome this. Everything's gonna be good. I just really need to not let this get to me. Even though these almost exact stop outs are frustrating. I mean, it is what it is. It's part of it. I am just taking it with a grain of salt, if you will, and just moving forward and just doing the best we can. All we can do is make improvements. But that was today's trade recap, and thank you.